guys. Big yellow box. This has been 2.5 months in the making since the order. Obviously, big yellow box came from China. Oh, this is one of two. There's one 3.5 months in the making which I haven't received yet. So I think there's a little bit of a trap door on the top of this thing. It feels like it's a styrofoam box case. It looks well packed from the outside. I think I'm going to try to cut the tape along this groove and see if it opens up. Bag is in the way. That worked. Look at that. Some extra pieces of foam here to protect the front inside. Seems to have done a good job. I didn't know I was going to get a cable. I've got such a collection of these things now. So I requested this custom. Which they said they would do. And the bag is sealed. Oh, no. It has a smell of finish. I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, it smells of a chemical. Might have been something that they just cleaned it with. Come on. These styrofoam bags are always sticky. And tight. Whew. So, as you can see, it's a sparkly mauve Les Paul copy. Looks pretty much as it did in the pictures. And I made sure they did not have Gibson on the headstock, which was the only custom thing I asked them for. And they obviously also didn't put Made in the USA on the back by themselves. So this guitar went for 360 Canadian dollars. And you know, for a Chinese guitar, the fret ends are pretty good. Pretty good. Of course, the bridge is way up there. Have no idea what kind of pickups they put in here. I asked them to put some good ones. They said, oh, they're just going to put standard. Yeah. So the finish is pretty nice. When I saw this online, you know, with the double white binding, and it's like, how many ply? One, two, it looks like about 5 ply binding on it as well. I thought, wow, that looks really different. And you know, I could do something with that. And they have the fake style Grover tuners on it. Let's see how they feel. Oh, no, not a lot of slack. Well, that's interesting. I could hardly feel any slack in them whatsoever. There's something written on them, and it could be the Grover name, I'm not sure. I have, oh, here's some glasses. They're not the strongest ones, but they might help me. Yeah, it says Grover, and they're pretty good. Wow, binding up the neck is nice. It took them a while. They built this during a really big COVID problem over there in China. There's a tiny little bit of orange peel just around the back cover. It's not very bad at all, and nobody would ever notice it. Clear knobs are a nice touch to be able to let the mauve sparkle come through. Not sure what I'm going to call this one. Of course, I have a roller bridge to replace that. Alright, so they did what I asked. Left the diamond, no Gibson, nothing on the plate here, and no identifying marks. So this I bought from a seller called Fantasy Guitar Club on AliExpress. So they had some issues apparently during the COVID over there where they were shut down, and then they were allowed to go back, and so it was built in stages, and I kept in contact with them, and they told me they were working on it, but you know, the workers were off, and they weren't allowed to do some spraying at a certain amount of time, and then they were allowed to do it again. So it took a while for them to get this thing done. I think it took about I'd say 4 to 5 weeks for them to actually produce it. So that would be the first month. Then they shipped it, and then it's been another month and a half in processing, getting out of China. It arrived on the west coast at Vancouver. I'd say that, what was the date it was? Let me think. Very close to the end of March. Ordered this on February 27th. Close to the end of March, it was still sitting in Vancouver. So March and April, and here it is the middle of May. I kept wondering if they had really sent me a guitar, because they said it was there. Their tracking system said it arrived at the port of entry, which I didn't know what port that was at the time. And it's probably in customs. So it's, and then Canada Post was saying, waiting for the item for the longest time. As soon as they knew that the shipping label had been printed and it was coming to Canada, the Canada Post was notified. So waiting for item a long time. Like I said, the other one that I ordered on February 1st is still missing in action. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And even if none of that electronics is any good, I can fix that. So that's pretty neat. Pretty neat, guys. The nut is looking pretty close. I'm sure it's plastic. I do have nuts to be able to replace that with. It looks very well glued in, along with the binding. There's a little bit of a residue around the nut for the glue, but let's hope the truss rod works. The neck is very flat at the moment, so next step will be the shop downstairs.